My hands shook as I gripped the phone. Mom's voice screeching through the speaker, demanding I take out a $5,000 loan for her latest emergency. The irony burned. I'd been paying her rent, her groceries, her kids' school supplies for years, and she already owed me $10,000 I'd never see again. At 25, I was drowning in my own debt, working 2 jobs to keep her family afloat, and now she wanted more. I'm Ethan, the eldest of 3, raised by a single mom, Linda, who lost her job 5 years ago and never quite got back on her feet. She wasn't lazy, she tried. At first, temp jobs, late-night applications, tears over rejection letters. But somewhere along the line, trying turned into leaning, and leaning turned into expecting. My younger siblings, Mia 10 and Lucas 7, were caught in the crossfire, their wide eyes watching every argument, every slammed door. I couldn't let them go hungry, so I stepped up. I dropped out of college, took a day job as a delivery driver, and nights at a warehouse. Every paycheck was sliced up, half for my rent and loans, half for Mom's bills. She promised to pay me back, but her promises were as empty as the fridge I kept restocking. This morning, I woke to a text from her. "Ethan, we need to talk. Urgent." My stomach sank. I drove to her cramped apartment, the familiar scent of stale coffee and unwashed laundry hitting me as I walked in. Mia and Lucas were on the floor, coloring with broken crayons. Mom sat on the couch, her face tight, holding a letter from the landlord. "Eviction notice," she said, voice flat. "We're behind $5,000. You need to take out a loan." I laughed, bitter and sharp. "Me alone, Mom. I'm barely keeping my head above water." Her eyes narrowed, that familiar spark of defiance flaring. "You're my son. You're supposed to help family. I raised you. Ethan, don't you dare turn your back on us." The words hit like a slap. Raised me, sure, when I was a kid. But now, I was the one raising her, raising Mia and Lucas, and she had the nerve to guilt me into more debt. The room felt smaller, the walls closing in. Mia looked up, her pencil frozen mid-doodle. "Are we going to lose our house, Ethan?" she whispered. My heart cracked. I wanted to scream, to walk out, to let Mom figure it out for once. But those kids, they didn't ask for this. I knelt beside them, forcing a smile. "No, kiddo, we'll be okay." But would we? I thought back to the early days, when Mom was different. She'd braid Mia's hair, sing Lucas to sleep, even make me laugh with her terrible cooking. Back then, she was a fighter, scraping by to give us a home. Unemployment broke something in her, though. She stopped looking for work, started leaning on me harder. First, it was $500 for utilities, then $2,000 for rent, then $10,000 over 3 years, borrowed in bits and pieces, each time with a tearful, "I'll pay you back." I kept a ledger once, but stopped when it hit 5 figures. It hurt too much to see the number grow. Now, she was asking for more, and I was at my limit. I stood, pacing the tiny living room. "Mom, I can't. I'm maxed out. My credit's shot. My savings are gone. Why don't you apply for aid, or a job, or—" She cut me off, voice rising. "You think I haven't tried? You think I want to beg my own son? You don't know how hard this is." Her voice cracked, and for a moment, I saw the old mom, the one who'd stayed up all night sewing my Halloween costume when I was 10. But that moment passed, and the resentment flooded back. I sank into a chair, head in my hands. The math didn't add up. A $5,000 loan would push me over the edge, late fees, interest, maybe even losing my apartment. But if I said no, Mom and the kids could be homeless. Mia's quiet sobs broke the silence, and Lucas clung to her, confused. I hated this. I hated being the bad guy, the savior, the ATM. I hated that I loved them too much to walk away. "All right," I said finally, my voice hollow. "I'll see what I can do." Mom's face softened, but not with gratitude, with relief, like she'd won. I drove to the bank, my stomach churning. The loan officer was kind but blunt. My credit was too shaky for $5,000. Maybe $2,000, but the interest rate would be brutal. I sat in my car afterward, staring at the rejection email, feeling like I'd failed everyone. Back at Mom's, I told her the truth. Her face crumpled, then hardened. "You didn't try hard enough," she spat. "You're abandoning us," I snapped. "Abandoning you, Mom. I've given you everything I dropped out of school. I work 80 hours a week. I'm drowning in debt for you. When do I get to live my life?" The room went silent. Mia and Lucas stared, wide-eyed. Mom's lip trembled, but she said nothing. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying her words, my words, the kids' faces. Was I wrong to push back? Was she wrong to demand more? I loved my family, but love was tearing me apart. The next morning, I called a social worker I'd met through a coworker. She mentioned programs, housing aid, job training that Mom could apply for. I emailed her the info, my hands shaking as I typed. "This is the last time I'm bailing you out. You need to try too." Days passed. Mom didn't reply, but I heard from Mia that she'd started filling out applications. A small victory, maybe, but it felt like a start. I visited them a week later, bringing pizza. Lucas tackled me with a hug, and Mia showed me a new drawing, a family, all four of us, smiling under a bright sun. Mom was quiet, but she squeezed my hand before I left. No apologies, no promises, just that touch. It was enough. For now. I'm still paying off my loans, still working 2 jobs, still carrying the weight of a family that's both mine and not. But I'm learning to set boundaries, to say no without guilt eating me alive. It's messy, it's painful, but it's life. I don't know if Mom will ever pay me back, or if she'll find her footing. I don't know if I'm the hero or the fool in this story. Maybe I'm both. What do you think? Was I right to push back? Or should I have just taken the loan? Share your thoughts. There's no easy answer here. And